Hi, upper group and lower elementary class. It's Miss Shannon coming to you live. So, our first segment right now is going to be our upper group for math. So, if you start with this page, which comes on Monday morning, that would include you. Our first question, and of course, I'm not going to go through every question because that would take too long. But the first part has you drawing a 3-inch line segment. So, you are, of course, going to need a ruler. When you look at your page, you're going to put your pencil at the beginning and you're going to draw till you get to the 3. The second one asks you to draw a 3-inch line segment, which is between 3 and 4. When we get to question number 1, it says that Ryan and David each ate a dozen marshmallows. Ryan ate half a dozen Michael ate half a dozen marshmallows. How many marshmallows did the boys eat all together? So if we know that Ryan and David each ate a dozen, we know that in a dozen there are 12. So we know that that is 12 and 12. We know that Michael ate half a dozen, which is just 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to add them up. So 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. We carry the 1. We know that they ate 30. So our number sentence is going to be 12 plus 12 plus 6 equals 30. When you get down to this question number 2, you're putting the numbers in order from least to greatest, or from smallest to biggest. On the thermometer, you're going to mark the temperature at 44 degrees. So we know that each dash represents 2 between the whole numbers 40 and 50. So if we're going to find 44, we're going to go to the second dash up from the 40, and we're going to color it then all the way back down. Then it says in number 4, you're going to draw a picture to show 251, the number 251, using our 100 squares, bead chains, and units or ones. So if I have 251, and I know that each 100 square is worth 1, I'm going to have 1, 2, which is 200 squares. I have a 5 in the tens place. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10 bars, and I have 1 unit, or a 1. So that's how we would write this, expand it out, using our 100 squares, 10 bars, and our units. As we go to number 5, you're just simply going to measure the lines and write them down. We see on the clock, what time is it? We see that the little hand is between the 3 and 4, so we see that the big hand is going to be traveling upwards, meaning that we're headed toward 4 o'clock. So if the time is between the 3 and the 4, we know that it's going to be, we're going to put our little hand between the 3 and 4, and our big hand goes to the 6, which is half past the hour. And then, of course, we're going to add the rest. For Tuesday's math, it's the same thing. We have 12 children in room 6 ride the bus in room 16. The other 9 children in the class walk to school. How many children are in room 16? So if we know there are 12 children that take the bus, and we know that there are 9 children that walk, what would our number sentence be? We would add the two numbers, 12 plus 9, and we would say that 12 plus 9 is 21. So their answer would be 21. And this is the work you're going to show in your square and then write your answers out. What is the best estimate of the length of the paper? You can use your ruler, obviously, to measure it. An estimate is a guess. I'm looking at here, it's approximately 11 inches long. Now, on number 4, we're dealing with fractions. And you may be wondering why I'm going so fast. It's because our time segments are short. Divide each shape into 4s. So if I have an item like this, and I have to divide that into fours, I have half, and then I have fours, right? So I can shade 1/4, and 1/4 would be this. This one says shade 2 fours. So if I have a square and I divide it into fours, 2 fours would be 2 squares. If I have a circle and I want to do 3 fours, and boys and girls, keep in mind Miss Shannon finds doing 3 fours hard on a pie, on a circle. But anyway, you could do it realistically. You could do it like this if you have trouble. And it says that you could you could go like this. 1, 2, 3, and you would still have a 4th left. Or you could have taken your circle like this and cut it like that, and then you could have done it like this. Now on our graph, on our Venn diagram, you will see that you guys have a sports children like. It says how many children like soccer. We see that in the soccer, in the one that likes both, there are 3. So there are 3 that like soccer. How many children like swimming? We see 3, 4, 5 like swimming. How many children like only soccer? We see there are 2 because Jan likes both, so we wouldn't include her. And what does Anna like? We find her name and we find out that Anna likes swimming. So we write swimming here. At the bottom, we're just going to subtract and add. On Wednesday, we go back to the top of our paper for Wednesday. It says 15 grade 2 children rode bikes to school. So we have 15 children with bikes. 17 grade 3 children rode bikes to school. So this is grade 2. This is grade 3. How many children in grade 2 and 3 rode bikes to school? So now we need an all together, or to find out how many all together. So when we want to find all together, we have to add 15 plus 17 equals, so we know that this is 32. So that's how many were all together. Now on our thermometer, it marks the temperature for you, and you need to write in the temperature. The temperature on our graph is at 32 degrees. On number 3, you're going to measure the line segments. On 4, just as we did previously on day 2, you're going to divide the items in the geometric shapes into 4s, and then you're going to shade accordingly. At the bottom is another Venn diagram, and of course more addition and subtraction. On Thursday, we go to money, which I know is not the favorite of our class, but it's something that's still very important. Alexis bought a notepad for 64 cents and a pencil for 19 cents. How much money did she spend? Remember that the decimal is important to have because it's indicative of cents. So we're going to add 9 plus 4 is 13, 6, 7, and 8. And we see that we put our period in place, or our decimal in place, and we have 83 cents. So our number sentence would be 64 cents plus 19 cents equals. And then we would put below it 83 cents. And number 2, you're going to color in the temperature to 38 degrees. 3, you're going to put numbers in order. 4, once again, we're going to use our number squares. Now, in number 5, this is just a reminder. We haven't done our bigger or greater than, equal than. less than in a while. But remember, the mouth opens up towards the bigger number. So 12 and then 7. Which number is bigger, 12 or 7? We know that 12 is bigger, so the mouth will go open towards the bigger number. And 15 and 18, we know that 15 is smaller than 18, so the mouth opening is going to be towards the 18. And when we see the numbers 230 and 179, we know that 230 is bigger than 179, so therefore the mouth opening will be greater toward the 230, with this being less than the point of this force facing the 179. Now, in number 6, it says circle the number that is closest to 70. So you want to get as close to 70 as possible. When we look at the numbers that we have 49, 55, 72, and 75. We know that 49 is not closer than 72. 55 is not closer than 72. So we know these two numbers are the closest ones. And which one is the closest 70? Would be 75 is further away from 70. So we would circle 72 because it's the closest number to 70 that we can get. At the bottom, we're going to simply add our numbers up. Now, I know some of you have found adding 3 numbers challenging. There's nothing more challenging than if you were adding 2 numbers. You're just simply adding 4 numbers, or 3 numbers here. So 7 plus 4 we know is 11. Then we add 3 more, we're at 14. When we go over here, 5 and 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12. We're just simply adding the numbers. When we get to the coins, make sure that you put your decimal in place. For Friday's math, we're once again at the top measuring, so you will need a ruler for a couple of these sheets. On number 1, we're back to adding with money, or subtracting with money. All right, so Blake bought a marker for 48 cents. So let's make sure we remember that we put our decimal in place. And he bought an eraser for 37 cents. Now, it says here, how much money did he spend? So we know we're not going to subtract because they want to know how much he used altogether. So we're going to add them up. So 8 and 7 is 15, and 7 and 1 is 8. So we know that he spent 85 cents. And so our number sentence will once again be 48 cents plus 37 cents equals, and then below that, we will write our answer of 85 cents. And if we go down to number 5, we're once again with our greater than or equal than. Of course, number 6 is numbers closest to 80, so you will figure that one out. And this, my friends, ends our upper group for lower elementary and Miss Shannon's group. I hope these answers were helpful to you in going through this process. If you have further questions, we will meet in our Zoom.